Yebo sihlobo labangani linjani? Hey, ngixolele bangani bami. Amaneshamari. Andisikunzwa mushe, but I'm here to talk to you about issues of Highlanders, ZIFA and the Ministry of Sports. I've been advised that Highlanders Football Club, ZIFA, have been called by the Minister of Sports, Mr. Hlongwane, so that we can address this issue. Ye Hailanga, Bosso, Chilamoya, Mahlola Nyama. Right, my friends, I think what started as a small issue now is going to save our nation. As I said before, Omega, I don't think you ever imagined in your life that one day the weight of a nation will rest upon your shoulders. This is the case for it. And you are the man who's going to make a difference on the way forward for this nation. Umgabe asakhulumi ngaye. Isigebenga lesana umgabe, we have no stories with him. All that we wish is for him to come openly and admit guilt so that the nation can move forward. But ispanda indaba isele kuwe ndoda. Sorry, amaqhawe enziwa njalo emhlabeni. Usuliqhawe lamaqhawe njalo indaba kuwe ungesabi ubatshela iqiniso. Hlongwane, I hear also that you'll be part of this. You know, as I say to people, this got nothing to do with football. This is a political matter, and unfortunately, it is happening in a football field. But when you have catastrophe like we have in Zimbabwe, things tend to happen in mysterious ways. So it's one of those mysteries that we have to put up with. As I said before, some of these people are victims, and you cannot usually blame victims. But what is important now, Zimbabweans, is what do we do from here? What do we wish our country to be? Right. I wish I could be there. I wish I could see Ubaba Hlongwane as the Minister of Sports, and we discuss this issue openly. The issue rests with Robert Mugabe, and he is the man who needs to leave this country in good hands. He needs to admit his offenses, and then we move on as a country. And Ilani forward, I think we got to be constructive in our engagement. Sesitigama orange wakwana, they've heard us, now they're giving us an audience. So it's okay. We don't support violence, we don't condone violence, but we hear your grievances. But let us work for the good of this country. We should not allow Robert Mugabe to continue ruling this country from his grave. We should not allow Robert Mugabe intentions to continue dividing our country. What we need now is to open dialogue, express our feelings in an organized way, in a constructive way, and then we move from there. The issue is not about anybody else except Mugabe. Mugabe is the man who brought those things to our people, and is 94 years old. He is seeing the last days of his life, and we should not allow a man at the end of his life to continue ruling our future. What I'm asking you, Omega, is to tell people the truth. You tell them that what is happening in Soweto has got nothing to do with Highlanders. Whether Highlanders wins or loses, the hooligans or the political people that are at Soweto will continue doing what they are doing unless the issue of Kukurahundi is spoken about, resolved, and Mugabe takes responsibility. And he is going to take responsibility before he dies. He should not leave us in this position that he brought us to. He has to take responsibility. We should not be afraid to ask him to take responsibility. No, Hamanesha Mari. If we don't do that, we are going to have problems in this country. Problems which were caused by a man who won't be there. We need to address this issue. Baba Chiangwa, don't be afraid. You have offered an audience. You want to solve this. I don't think you also imagine that you'll be so important in the future of this country. Forget about everybody else. Everybody else doesn't want to do anything. But put it upon yourself that you want a better Zimbabwe. Omega. Yabona izinto zenzakala ngendlela ezitshiyeneyo. Abakomthwakazi, amadlozi akomthwakazi akukhethile wena ungazi. Namuhla uthwele umthwalo obungazange wacabanga ukuthi uzafa wathwala empilweni yakho. This issue has to be resolved. Ningixolele bakithi, I can't be in Zimbabwe at the moment because angizwa kuhle. If I was never going to be afraid to talk about this issue because it's important. Ukuxabana okuseZimbabwe khathesi lokungazwani kwadalwa nguMugabe, and he has to take responsibility. I want a future Zimbabwe where Bona is going to live in Zimbabwe and not be accused of anything. I want Shatunga to be in Zimbabwe as a Zimbabwean and live in Zimbabwe without people digging his father's debt because the father is admitted and we've spoken about the issue. It's got nothing to do with anybody else. Mugabe has to accept responsibilities before he goes. And we need to talk about it. Those who want to defend him and make him avoid to take responsibilities are on the wrong. They must understand that they're destroying the country. We need to fix this, and we need to fix it now. Lani vantu beBosso chiyanani ube lokhu lisiyabanga imsindo. The issue is being spoken about. The issue is being resolved. I've said, Chiangwa, Omega, when you go and see uHlongwane, limtsheli baba uHlongwane thi baba uHlongwane, this is a political issue. It's got to be resolved. Soccer brings people together. This is why it's called the world's game, the beautiful game. There's beauty that is going to come out of this. But now, let's start the dialogue. Zimbabwe. Let's move forward. The problem we know. I'm willing to act as a mediator. You know, I will mention this. Mina, I have no problems with anybody else except Mugabe. Those people who are going about talking about the tribalism, they know that I don't subscribe to tribalism. I've never subscribed to tribalism in my life. I don't know whether this will help you, but ever since I started falling in love, the first lady I fell in love with was a Shona lady. Yes, she didn't love me back, but that was not because I'm Ndebele or I aligned myself as Ndebele. It was simply that he didn't love me back, right? I proposed that girl for 4 years, and there was never a time she refused me because of Ndebele. And there was never a time in my life I said I'm going to propose to girls abangama Ndebele. So I'm not tribal. This is what I'm telling you, my people. We need to talk about this, resolve it, and move forward. Mugabe has to accept responsibility. He's 94. He's got nothing to lose at his age. If he wants to leave Zimbabwe in a better place, he should promote dialogue about this issue and accept responsibilities. Right? Baba Chiangwa, ungethuki, you started it. Bring him here. Tell him that, uncle, you need to leave this sorted. He is the only man who can sort it, and he has to sort it. Right? We don't need to be talking about this after he's gone. Thank you, Zimbabweans. Lale uhle. Bye-bye.